Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay, now we are going to talk about the cause of dukkha patipada, danda vinya. Yesterday, we have already mentioned 3 or 4 different types of practitioners. So among the 4, dukkha paripadami, practicing with difficulty. Danda vinyami, very slowly attained the higher attainment. This is the main topic today. So we have to remember dukkha paripada. Dukkha paripada means difficult to practice. That means when we are practicing, we will encounter many difficulties. Why we have difficulty? Here I mentioned 10 impediments. So when we have 10 impediments, we cannot practice well. We may encounter many difficulties. We cannot improve smoothly. The second one is a lustful temperament. Okay, under the name of lustful temperament, we have to explain the nature of raga. Actually, in our previous topic, we have already explained ragami, stain, white clothes, stain black. Similarly now, our mind is naturally white, originally white, but stained by attachment. It becomes messy. Okay, the main thing is, if we are very easy to attach to living things or non-living things, that means we have lustful temperament. What about then we see, oh, it looked very nice. It looked very good, for example, right? When we have this kind of feeling, we can understand it's lustful temperament. Another thing is not practicing samatha. If we don't practice samatha properly, then we may have a lot of difficulty for improvement. Okay, this is the main thing we have to understand for dukkha paripada. There are many other parts we have to explain dukkha paripada. But here we will go to danda vinya first. Why we attain very slowly? Although we have improved up to some level, sometimes we cannot improve more than that. Why does this happen? Here we have 10 unskills in jhana. So later I will explain 10 impediments and then 10 unskilled in jhana. It will be more in detail. So another one is a deluded temperament. Delusion. Forgetful. Or negligent. Then we may have a lot of difficulty. We'll improve slowly, but we don't know many things. Then we will not know the truth also. If we have delusion, we don't have wisdom. If we are not wise enough, we cannot attain higher attainment. Then many of traditional meditation teachers also talk about samatha. They say, right, jhana is samatha is jhana and not jnana. That means not wisdom, just concentration. But in reality, without wisdom, we cannot attain jhana. When you study Abhidhamma, every jhana attainment associated with wisdom. So without wisdom, we cannot improve. We cannot achieve any higher attainment. So delusions and wisdom are opposite. Another one, not practicing vipassana. So we may have many different traditions of vipassana. The Buddha also had already mentioned many different types of vipassana in the text. If we haven't practiced vipassana properly, then we will have very slow improvement. These are dukkha pratipatti and then danda vinya. Separately, two different parts. We have the next groove. These three were covered for both dukkha pratipatti and danda vinya. Here we have mentioned these 7 unsuitable conditions. Later I have to explain this one also. When we have 7 unsuitable conditions, we cannot improve easily dukkha pratipatti. We cannot attain smoothly danda vinya. So from time to time in the meditation interview, I also talk about suitable condition. For example, when you feel drowsy, I say, what kind of food do you eat? You may remember this kind of things, right? We also need suitable food. Otherwise, we will feel drowsy. This is just an example. Another one is having very weak controlling faculties. I have to elaborate these 5. So we have 5 controlling faculties. Saddha, confidence or faith. If our confidence is very strong and we don't have wisdom, we will believe everything easily. Then we may have blind faith. But sometimes, although we are experiencing something wrong in our practice, we may believe we are doing well. I don't remember which part I have already talked about it. Here, I also had already mentioned there are some common points many of meditators stop. That is the tranquility, right? When tranquility becomes very strong, very powerful, your body becomes very calm, very quiet, frozen. You don't wish to move, very peaceful. That people also think they have attained path and fruition knowledge. So they may have that kind of belief. Although it's wrong, they believe like this. Sometimes we have saddha, confidence. Sometimes we have overconfidence. It's very serious. Okay, one more thing here about overconfidence, right? Saddha can make our mind clear. Because we have confidence. Saddha means it will make our mind clear. It can subside the defilements. Sometimes when we have overconfidence, it's not saddha anymore. It will be similar to mana, pride or conceit. Have I talked about mana? 2 times already. We have mana, but we can still accept the truth. We also have mana, although we know the truth, we don't accept it. Very arrogance, right? That kind of mana. So when mana becomes very powerful, if we have very strong mana, our mind cannot be clear. We cannot subside the defilements. Saddha can subside the defilements. Mana cannot subside. So we must have saddha. We must have faith and confidence. But it must not be overconfidence. Another thing is wisdom. So saddha and panya must understand as a pair. We must balance these two. Sometimes we have very strong wisdom. We can analyze everything very easily. Sometimes we analyze unnecessary things. Then it will make slow. Okay, practically now, when you are practicing anapanasati, I just say very simple, right? Keep knowing breathing naturally. You try to know very much in detail. How far, how near, how big, how small, how short, how long. The more you are curious, the more you become messy. Even today, when the yogi asks question, I also talk to her. When you are meditating, don't ask 3 questions. How? Why? What? Whenever we have new experience, we will have that kind of mind, right? What happened? How did this happen? Why did this happen? We just try to know many unnecessary things. It cannot improve. So sometimes we have a lot of analysis, a lot of analyzings. It just produces a lot of doubt. Even you may have a doubt about your breathing. Right? Do I have an in-breath or out-breath? Am I focused on the in-breath or out-breath? Right? Then similarly, you may also have doubt about your touching point. Where is my touching point? In the upper lip, left side, right side, at the tip of the nose, inside the nose, outside the nose, how far, how near, many. Gradually, you have a lot of doubt. We have to balance these two. If we have a lot of analysis, very strong wisdom, then we must balance with our confidence. Similarly, if we have very strong confidence, if we are not very wise also, we may believe wrong things, then we must balance these two. If one of them becomes very weaker, it does not work properly. If one of them becomes very strong also, they cannot work properly. We must have like a balancing power of these two types of controlling faculties. If we cannot do it, we cannot improve. Very slow improvement, also very slow attainment. So this weak controlling faculties will cover both dukkha, paripada, danda, piññā. We have another pair of controlling faculties: concentration and effort. We must balance these two. Sometimes we expect very deep concentration. Now you also have this kind of problem. Today I don't know how many yogis have this kind of problem. They want to improve very fast, that they put too much effort. They struggle too much. The more they struggle, the more they have a thought. Sometimes when we have too much effort, not only restlessness, we become very tired. Mostly people have one other problem, that is greed. No, when you are earning, okay, you can be greedy, but when you are meditating, remove greed. Don't be greedy. Accept natural condition. Try to reset as a new meditator, simply, naturally. Sometimes we expect immediate result. We pressure ourselves too much. Right? Within a few minutes, I should have deeper concentration. So force, you have very strong mind power, forcing yourself. As you expect it, within a few hours, you may have deep concentration. But you cannot satisfy with that again. Make a little bit more effort. You may get a little bit deeper, but you cannot satisfy with that again. Try it again. Put a little bit more effort again. Cannot satisfy again. More effort again. Finally, no more energy. You come back to zero. So if we regress or retrace like this is not really very good result. So putting too much effort, we can get very easy, we can achieve very high concentration, deep concentration within a few seconds, a few minutes. But we don't have mind power to maintain it. Concentration must balance with effort. Effort must balance with concentration. If we cannot balance these two, we're going to have good result. Sometimes we have good concentration. Then now, today is the 6th day, right? You may start experiencing that one. Today, some yogis have already reported tranquility, calmness, quietness of the mind. So when we have very much quietness of the mind, this is also, we can say, a sign of concentration. But we like quietness, new experiences. We follow it. Effort becomes weaker and weaker. Finally, we get lost everything. So when we have concentration, trying to maintain. Don't follow any calmness, quietness, tranquility, rapture, anything. Just keep knowing breathing. Keep knowing object. If you can balance effort and concentration, then you will improve. So if one of them becomes very weak, it does not work properly. If one of them becomes very strong also, it does not work properly. If we can balance these two, it will be better. Okay, now here the key player is awareness or mindfulness. If we don't know which controlling faculty is stronger or weaker in our practice, we cannot know how to balance. When we have a lot of thoughts, okay, check strong effort or weak effort. Sometimes you don't make effort, that's why you have a lot of thoughts. Sometimes you have very strong efforts, that's why you have a thought. Check. So mostly when you have very weak efforts, you may feel drowsy or you may get bored. This is the normal. If you can balance controlling faculties, everything will be smooth. Okay, if we go to the topic, having very weak controlling faculties will make dukkha paripada dandapanya. So Dukkha Pratipatti Dana Pinya means we will encounter a lot of difficulty when we are practicing before attaining asset concentration. Dana Pinya, after attaining asset concentration also, it will take very long time to attain jhana. In Vipassana also, we have a lot of difficulty to attain highest insight knowledge. After attaining higher insight knowledge also, it will take very long time to attain path and fruition knowledge. This is called Dukkha Pratipatti Dana Pinya. Okay, now the last one in the table, having very strong defilements. Be careful, previous one, having very weak controlling faculties, right? This one is having very strong defilements. So I have already mentioned unwholesome mental state, but I didn't list out the defilements. It will take a little bit time also. As everybody has already known lobha, dosa, moha, I will not need to elaborate this kind of things. Similarly, mana. I have already talked about mana many times in this retreat, even in question and answer. So we don't need to talk about it. Ditthi, wrong view, very, very wide. So when we say wrong view, in brief, not accepting karma ownership. That we don't believe good actions will produce good results, bad action will produce bad results. If we don't believe, we can say this is the wrong view. Of course, when we are going to talk about karma, it's too wide also. Then there will be many questions you may have read in many suttas. They also ask the Buddha, right? Whether the world system is eternal or not. The Buddha didn't answer this kind of question. So when you study Silakkana Vagga, you can find many different types of wrong view. Some of the wrong view come from thinking. Some of the wrong view come from attainment. Even we have attained very strong psychic power, we can have a wrong view if we are unwise. Okay, this means ditthi also one of the defilements. Then you may have already known the Pali word vicikiccha, doubt or skepticism. We may have a lot of doubt, but not all types of doubts are called vicikiccha. For example, you may have a doubt about this morning or evening. Right? So have I eaten breakfast or lunch? When you have this kind of doubt, it's not vicikiccha. This is not important also. Right? When you have doubt about the quality of the Buddha, the quality of the Dhamma, the quality of the Sangha, this is vicikiccha. When you have doubt about three trainings and the benefits of three trainings, you have already known Sila, Samadhi, Panya. When you have doubt about all these things, it will affect your practice. The stronger doubt you have, the bigger obstacle you have also. There's very big hindrances. Then you may have already known Tina Mita, sloth and torpor. The mind is not very active, lazy. Right? Then when somebody say, I'm lazy, what I just say, it's Mara. Right? This is Mara. Okay, the main thing is, when our mind is not very active, then we cannot practice well. Tina or Metta, these will make our mind not very active. Sometimes weary of the body, weary of the mind. This also can be considered as a defilement. Restlessness, uddhacca. Then you are meditating, you know more than necessary, right? Because every time you have a thought, without thought you cannot meditate. This is a beginner, normal. As long as your mind and breath become not very harmonious, it will happen. A lot of thoughts. When your mind and breath become very harmonious, okay, no more thoughts. It's possible. Restlessness, this is also one of the defilements. Then you may have already known ahirika and anatapa, moral shamelessness and moral fearlessness. These are also called defilements. Okay, if we summarize, defilements means it will make our mind impure. They can also hinder our improvement. Especially, they will hinder our spiritual improvement, spiritual development. This is called defilements. When the defilements become very strong and then very powerful, we cannot practice smoothly. Then we cannot attain easily also. So these are the causes of dukkha paribhara and dana vinya. Then I have to elaborate a few more things about these causes of dukkha paribhara dana vinya. So under the name of dukkha paribhara, they also mention 10 impediments. I already mentioned 10 impediments. So now I will list out the 10 impediments. Now we can also understand these 10 are major impediments, very serious impediments. Now we also have many other minor impediments. We can now start with the first one. Okay, avasa, dwelling, living place. This is also one of the impediments. Okay, now today we don't have that much raining, right? Today no raining. So when I came here, the first day, raining. Then when rain, the roof is not very well covered, it will leak water, you have to repair, it makes you busy. This comes from living place. This monastery is very new, right? Very new, so you have to fix many things. You will be busy, right? Even like a water tap. Even my good is also water tap, right? Now you're finished. Right? Even like a many things actually, newly constructed, newly installed everything. I mean, not ready. So we have to renovate, repair, install this, install that, provide this, provide that, organize this, organize that. Then it makes us busy, cannot meditate well. This comes from avasa, living place. This is the new kuti, that's why it happened, right? The very old kuti, how it happened? Okay, now this one is not very old yet, right? But there's some old kuti, there was some damage. The wall is not really very nice. Okay, we have to fix the wall. The floor is not really very good. Okay, you have to fix the floor. Right? Then, similarly, if the ceiling is not really very nice, we have to fix it again. The roof is not very good, also you have to face again, it will make busy. This is called avasa, living place. So if our living place is too new or too old, we may have a lot of dukkha. Sometimes when we talk about living place, okay, later maybe we have to say that one again also, right? Living place. City we also have suitable, unsuitable living place. Later we have to explain that one. Like a very famous monastery. In Nepal, how many famous monasteries? I have been to one pagoda in the top of the mountain. We can see Kathmandu. Right? Very busy, very crowded. So that means if monastery is very famous, it's very crowded, it's not a good place to meditate. Okay, briefly, some of the obstacles come from our living place. We have to do this, we have to do that, we have to clean this one, clean that one, then it becomes impediment. It becomes very big obstacle. You know, second one, kula, family, donor or devotees. So sometimes when we have family issue, family problem means if there's a, for example, okay, we should say easier way. You are meditating here, many young meditators here, right? Then you are meditating here, your parents are quarreling at home. They call you, how do you feel? I can hear many old, maybe mature people also. They may have daughter or son or children, right? You are meditating here, your children contact you. Even, for example, you may have two children. They are quarreling, fighting at home. Right? This is a family issue. Big problem. Sometimes, like for bhikkhu, donors and devotees, this is also one of the problems. If we are very close to the devotees, they talk about their family life very much in detail. In the very beginning, okay. But later, when they are comfortable and smooth, they will not report us. When they have difficulty and problem, they will report bhikkhu. Right? All their problem come to the monastery. We cannot do anything also. We just listen. This is also called kula paribodha. So if we are very close to devotees, when they are happy, we are also happy. When they are sorry, we also feel sorry. Right? Because their happiness becomes our happiness. Their sorrow becomes our sorrow also. This is a family life, right? Like a family. Now you may have the same experience in your family. If you are one of your family members have to suffer, all family members have to suffer. So this comes from family, right? This is a very, very serious impediment. We cannot practice well, we cannot improve well. We may encounter a lot of difficulty. Now the next one. Lava, gain. Okay, we should talk about lay person first, right? So you have to say something, or you have to buy something, or you have some appointment for your business. Then when you meditate, all the things will come to you. You will arrange, right? I have to talk with him, this one, that one. I have to say this one, bang this one. You may have a lot of planning, but your appointment for your earning, it becomes obstacle. Okay, for bhikkhu, luckily here, I don't need to go for many invitation, right? Just come here, give meditation instruction, interview, meditate, give Dhamma Talk. No house dana. As far as I know, in Nepal, there are many house dana, right? I have an experience last year. 2 house dana. Very busy. I can't know, this is Nepalese time. Right? House dana, but with many people. Right? Anyway, the main thing is for bhikkhu, we have house dana. We have that invitation, go there. Another invitation, go there. Another invitation, go there. We can get a lot of money. Right? That means we can earn a lot. But it becomes an obstacle when we are meditating. So, if we have invitation, even I have this kind of dukkha sometimes. Right? If somebody invite me, then I have to plan for it. Oh, maybe. What kind of Dhamma Talk I should give? I have to plan for this also. Invitation. Even very small, very limited invitation, right? Actually, in Pao also, I don't have many invitations. Because mostly I have meditation instruction, interview, and Dhamma Talk, just other duty in the monastery. Not many house dana. Okay, you can also practically experience how is it in Nepal. House dana, everybody bring donation. If they offer, but if 20 people come, we have 20 donation. Small or big, 20 donation. Then when we come back, we have to store up properly. Busy for it also. Right? So we have one traditional saying. If you are very famous, or we can also say, if you have many devotees and many invitations, you are like a riding, I don't know what kind of, when you are young, what kind of horse do you like? We have handmade horse. Sometimes in some area, made of coconut leaves, right? They make horse in the shape of a horse. We ride. Actually, although we say we are riding horse, we have to run by ourselves. Right? Do you have this kind of kasha in Nepal? No? Okay. So some area they make from palm leaves. Because a branch of leaves, right? That they make they shape like a horse. We ride. Ride me. The horse leg cannot touch the ground, right? Our leg can touch the ground. We have to run. So if we are famous and if we have a lot of invitation, we are riding by palm leaves horse or coconut leaves horse. The faster the horse runs, the more we are tiring. This is called lava, gain. So it becomes obstacle. Sometimes, okay, you can maybe for lay persons you may not know suffering of bhikkhu, right? In some time, some conditions, even in the morning, I have 3 appointments, 3 Dhamma talks, only in the morning. You can imagine how miserable it is. Right? So after lunch, right? Like we have some anumodana for donors. After breakfast, for example, after breakfast, right? One Dhamma talk. Okay. Then sometimes two donors. One of the donor they offer for their departed relatives. Another donor is a birthday. Okay, you can imagine. I have to prepare for two Dhamma talks. Okay. Actually, gain is the problem like this, right? Actually, okay, in power, I'm not giving Dhamma talk for gain. But anyway, if we have a lot of invitation, we have to suffer like this. So that means, okay, every types of gain, we have to suffer. Okay, practically in your daily life, you have to earn for your surviving, for your living. You have to suffer for it. Then sometimes you have to plan very many things in detail. Right? Then you can earn well. If you cannot plan very well, you cannot earn well also. That is why gain, it will waste our time. Then it will disturb our practice. Okay, now we should move. The next one. Gana, group, association, or organization. Okay, it depends on the group, the community we live. There can be different types of gana. For example, as a bhikkhu, we have different grouping. For example, there are some bhikkhu. They have learned something, specializing Vinaya, Abhidhamma, or Sutta. So when they gather, then they will talk about Vinaya, Sutta, Abhidhamma, according to their specialized object. This is also called Gana. A lot of discussion, a lot of meeting, a lot of appointment. It makes busy. Sometimes actually, it should not be that busy also, right? We should not have some appointment. Only a few we can finish, but we still have appointment sometimes. So then, if we have organization, or maybe association or something, we have to meet each other, discuss something. It will make busy. When you meditate, all the conversation will come to your mind. It becomes obstacle. Okay, next one. Karma, responsibility. Here, karma doesn't mean good karma or bad karma, right? Karma means your job or a new project or something. Okay, we should say according to this monastery. In this monastery, we have many projects, many construction. So there are some kuti under construction. So if we have that kind of project, we have to plan many things. We have to see people, workers, supervisor, engineer, electronics, technician, right? Many people. We have to work with many people. Not all the people are kind. There will be some people, they are very kind, okay, very easy to discuss, right? Then, okay, according to the condition we have, there can be many obstacles, many difficulties. When we have big projects, we have to suffer more. And not only that, actually, okay, we can also see practically in Nepal you have many festivals, right? How long do you have to prepare for one festival? How many days do you have to prepare? 1 week? 2 weeks? 1 month? 2 months? As far as I know, every month you have a festival, right? Then you have to prepare every month. So that means if we have some activities, some projects, all the things will come to our mind. If we become obstacle, we call impediment, Paliboda. Okay, now we should move the next one. Oh, why did this happen? Yes, 6, 7, 8 together. Maybe later I should check again, right? I should check all the slides. When I type, it is a number on 1 by 1. But now I'm changing. Okay, Atta, journey. Okay, now practically you come from Kathmandu. It would take at least 6 hours, right? Before coming, you have to prepare a lot. When you arrive here, you become tired already. If your house is not very far from here, it's okay. For Vietnamese community, right? You have to come from Vietnam. At the day, you have to fly for the transit, right? Malaysia transit or Singapore transit or Thai transit. The Vietnam to Singapore or Malaysia or Thailand, then come to Kathmandu to here. Then you have to prepare many things also, right? You have to bring many things also. So when we are going to travel, we have to prepare many things. Then we cannot meditate very well. Similarly, after arriving at the destination, we become tired. We have to arrange our living place and many other things. We cannot meditate also. So journey is also one of the obstacles, one of the impediments. Nyati, relatives. Okay, here in the case of Nyati, this also can be teacher and a student. This is also called Nyati. It also can be family member. For example, if one of my students is sick, then we have to arrange some medication, then it may be busy. Similarly, among the bhikkhus, some of our junior or our senior is sick. Then we have to take care of him. Then it will be impediment. So the main thing is our friends, family members, relatives, teachers or students, they can also bring some difficulty for our practice. 8 now, avada, sickness. If we do medical checkup, we all have sickness. So here, sickness doesn't mean just like a normal or like a general sickness. Very serious sickness is called avada. Sometimes we have very serious sickness, we cannot meditate. Even we cannot focus our object. For example, when you feel headache very seriously, you cannot know the breath. You cannot focus on the breath also. So, if something very serious, we can say avada. So, it will be impediment. Okay, now the next one. Kanta. Scriptural study, that means learning or studying. Actually, when we are learning, we have to remember something, we have to review something, we have to think about something. But when we are meditating, we have to stop thinking. These are two opposites. So when we have to learn, we cannot meditate well. But now, in some Pali school, they also have maybe 1 or 2 sessions of meditation to calm down their minds. Sometimes in the early morning after chanting, with short session of meditation. After evening chanting, short session of meditation like this. They also have that kind of rule and regulation. It's not for attainment, just to calm down the mind, to release from the stress. Anyway, if we have to learn many different things, you're not only learning. Now, when you read the books, you can get many information. When you are meditating, all the things you have read will come to your mind. It will disturb your meditation. That's why kanta is also one of the impediments. Okay, now the last one. 80. Psychic power. So psychic power, why is psychic power become impediment? Very difficult to achieve. Also very difficult to maintain. It's very sensitive. We can get lost very easily. So if somebody have to maintain psychic power, his mind will not go to vipassana. He cannot do vipassana. That's why it becomes an obstacle. There will be some special condition. If we are practicing to attain psychic power, we cannot say improvement, we are doing for this. But when we are practicing to attain nibbana, don't think about psychic power too much. You can attain psychic power or not. It's possible to practice vipassana. Of course, if you have attained psychic power, you have stronger concentration. It's better. So these are 10 impediments. So when we have these 10 impediments, it will make our improvement slow. That's why when we have one of these impediments, we have to cut as quick as possible. We have to find the way to cut or to overcome these impediments. These are major impediments. But we also have minor impediments. Minor impediment means, for example, sometimes you forgot to cut your nails. But when you are meditating, you touch your finger and you come to know, oh, my nails are very, very long now. The whole session you may think about your nail. This is a minor impediment. You can solve within few minutes. Right? For Bhikkhu also, we forgot to shave our hair. Actually, this also happened because we don't watch mirror. We don't see mirror, right? That's why we don't know our hair, long or short. But sometimes somebody remember, why don't you shave your hair? Then we remember, oh, 1 week already, 2 weeks already. Right? Then it becomes impediment. Okay, similarly, you have to wash your clothes. Right? Okay, there are many, many minor things. You can do it within a few minutes. You can solve this kind of problem within a few minutes. In the case of construction, it will take longer time. You need many instruments. Right? If you don't have instrument, you have to wait very long time also. For example, you are going to fix the roof. You don't have instrument. You have to wait. The worker. Then you need also ladder to climb up. Right? You many other things like drill, hammer, or many things, right? If you don't have all the instruments, you're going to do also. It will take time. Okay, so if we have very, very serious impediment, it will be slower. If we have only minor impediment, we can solve easily. We can also improve a little bit faster. The main thing is that we must cut major impediments. We must find the way to cut major impediments. Okay, so this is the list of 10 impediments, but I have to continue many other parts according to the list I have given. Okay, I will stop here. May you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Okay. Okay then, any? Wow, today quiet, not many questions. Okay.
Bạch Ngài cho con hỏi.
There is a question regarding Asanya Satta Brahma being. This being has only khanda, and their lifespan is very long, 500 kappa. At the time of Patisandhi, they have Utuja Rupa and Jiripindriya. Means there are 9 types of Rupa. Jiripindriya Navakagrapa. And for Rupa, is actually arising and perishing very quickly. But this type of being cannot eat anything. Navakagrapa has oja. Can this oja sustain 500 kappa without any food? They don't have juti. That's why they don't have marana sana jawana. So how would they be reborn in the future life after they pass away?
Okay, so this is karma, right? Karma with your ajindeyo. The case of karma is beyond imaginary. Okay, their karma sent them to be reborn in the Asanya Satta realms. So their karma power. Okay, we will give one simile. If you shoot an arrow into the sky, it depends on how strong your bow. If the bow is very strong, the strength of the bow is very strong, it will go very high. Then after going very high, it cannot exist on the sky, right? Have to come down to the ground. Similarly, their karma forces them to live very long in their life. At the end, they will come back to human realm. Like arrow come back to the ground. So, in your question also already mentioned, in the Bodhisattva, we can say Jivita Kalapas. In the death also, we can say disappearance of Jivita Kalapas, right? Then no Judicita. So for about the karma, before they were born as an asanya satta, they may have many other karma. That karma will produce new life. Okay, we can also understand like this. Next one.
Dạ, cho con hỏi. Bạch Ngài, cái định nó ảnh hưởng như thế nào đối với các sắc pháp, nhất là cái cặp sắc biểu trì?
Sayadaw, the question is how the concentration effect to the rupa khanda, rupa, especially the viññāti rupa.
Okay. Concentration will come from the mind, right? So if we can train mind, it will affect every deportment, every activities also. Actually, sometimes you can also experience when you have too much calmness and quietness, although you start meditating, you feel fresh. You feel your body is lighter. Right? So this is a normal. Actually, we cannot say how it affects. Right? But we can experience practically from time to time, according to the condition we have, there can be different effects. Okay? Then, okay.
How to balance the time of listening to the Dhamma and meditation as well as walking meditation? Because for someone who has a lot of wandering thoughts, they feel that by listening to Dhamma talk will be easier for him to concentrate compared to meditation.
Okay, there will be a few different conditions. For example, sometimes you are not very active to meditate, that you need motivation. Then, okay, it's the time to listen to Dhamma talk. Motivation and Dhamma talk. So sometimes you have very strong defilements. Also, you can also listen to the Dhamma talk to subside your defilements. So sometimes you have a lot of restlessness, as you say. There's too much restlessness, you can also do listening to the Dhamma talk. So actually, if we listen Dhamma talks maybe once a week, twice a week, also okay. Of course, if we have a lot of difficulty or a lot of defilement, we have to listen every day, every night. Also okay. So if you listen to the Dhamma talk too much also, you may have a lot of thinking. Especially, okay, now practically now my Dhamma talk. Many information. Right? Then, for the 10 impediment, for example, okay, it will be, okay, not that disturbance. So when I talk about Danda Binya, Dukkha Danda Binya, the reasons of Dukkha Danda Binya, many information, you may have more curiosity. Right? Then you can disturb. Some of them are practical for your practice, very useful for your practice. Some of them are just for knowledge, not that much useful now. Okay, when you are going to listen Dhamma talk, you must listen to only useful Dhamma talk. Then it will be okay. Then for about meditation, the more meditation session we have, the better it is for us. So at least we must be able to maintain concentration. If we can do more than that, we must be able to improve. So for improvement, we need more section, more skill. That's why if you have more meditation session, and also if you're trying to be skillful more, there will be for improvement. Okay, next one. No more again?
There are questions, Sayadaw. Sayadaw, may I ask, to the new meditator, should always start with Anapanasati, isn't it? And in some place, I was taught that we can start with the kasina, light kasina. So is it correct or not?
Actually, we can start with any meditation subjects. There is some special subject. For example, Upakha meditation is not for beginner. Immaterial jhana is not for beginners. So we don't recommend. We cannot recommend. Nobody can practice the one also as a beginner, right? So like kasina is possible to start as a beginner, but it will take longer time because you have to visualize something. But when we are practicing Anapanasati, we don't need to visualize. We can feel, we can know. It's easier. That is why we recommended many of meditators to start with Anapanasati. There will be some meditators, they don't have good opportunity to practice Anapanasati because they have some operation in their nose, some sickness in their nose. Then for them, we also encourage to practice 4 elements or kasina or metta or something. So, okay, if we say briefly, there can be many meditation subjects we can start with for improvement, but they are not as easy as Anapanasati. Okay? Next one.
Sayadaw, after a while, I practice meditation and listen to the Dhamma, so I feel no longer I want this and that. I want to relinquish many things, and don't feel interesting or desire in the work or in the family relationship. However, I still have the responsibility with the lay life. So, what should I do to balance between the spiritual practice and the duty of the lay life?
I don't know how many responded and how many we are responsibility, right? So I cannot advise clearly. Okay, one more thing. If you can hand over some of your duties to somebody, maybe your sibling or friends or somebody, you may have more time to meditate. Actually, you have to find your own way. You are the right time to practice, right? So sometimes we cannot spare our time. That's why we cannot meditate. If we can spare our time, we can meditate. So you have to arrange your own spare time according to your own condition. Okay, next one. How can we overcome Tina Mida? Actually, there are many ways to overcome Tina Mida, as Buddha talked to Venerable Mahamoggallana. But some of them are not for beginners. Some of them can be useful for beginners. For example, changing perception. Right? Changing perception means, okay, for Anapana practitioner, you are practicing in breath, just focusing in and out breaths normally. When you feel drowsy, you can also know a little bit more in detail. For example, whole breath body, or short and long breaths. By changing perception, you can also overcome drowsiness. When you change perception, you have to put extra effort. You can also overcome drowsiness, right? Another thing is like thinking about some of Buddha's teaching, like a sutta or some stanza or something. To recall the meaning of the sutta, the meaning of stanza like this. Then you can also overcome drowsiness. Another one is chanting mentally. You can chant some sutta mentally, or some stanza mentally. Another one is pulling your ear. Right? Next one is washing your face. Okay, another one, the next one is not that easy for beginners. This is like expanding the light, expanding like a sinner. So that means when you see very bright light, you're going to sleep well. Right? Similarly, when we feel drowsy, we can expand the light like a sinner, or white a sinner also possible. If we expand the light, then we can recover from drowsiness. Another one is walking meditation. This is also for overcoming drowsiness. Okay? Okay.
There is question, Sayadaw. Before practicing the main object of Anapanasati, should I radiate the metta towards myself and the beings, or should I merge to Buddha Nusati for the mind become calmer, or should I just go directly to the Anapana?
The mind is a what?
To make the mind calmer.
Calming, okay. See, for calmness is okay. You can use any method, any subject. Buddha Nusati or metta or anything, right? You can do for calmness of the mind. But when you have calmness of the mind, just come back to main subject, Anapanasati. It will be more beneficial. Okay?
This morning he wake up early in the morning and meditate, but he feel very sleepy at that time. But following that, after listening to when he listened to Dhamma Talk, immediately sleepiness has gone. What is the reason?
Greedy? After listening to the Dhamma Talk, what happened?
Sleepiness.
Oh, it has gone. Oh, okay. Actually, when your mind becomes active, you can overcome sleepiness also. Right? When your mind becomes a little bit dull and then blur, or when you get bored, you can feel drowsy easily. Okay? Then anything? Okay, Leon. 10 minutes more.
And then following that question, that means that every time she feels sleepy, she just listen to Dhamma Talk, then she will overcome the sleepiness.
We cannot say like that also, right? It depends on your mind also. Right? One time you can solve in this way, second time we are not sure. I don't know your mind also, right? So that means now, okay, you have your mind is active, then you can overcome it. Next time, we are not sure. Okay now?
Hello, Bonami Sayadaw. Sayadaw, I heard from my friend that Dharana Paritana is the best and most powerful sutta among many sutta in chanting, and my friend told that after chanting every chanting, and if we chant that sutta, then many things are beneficial for us. So I don't know so much about this sutta. Can Sayadaw please tell about Dharana Parita Sutta?
Dharana Parita.
And what are its beneficials for our daily life? Benefits of Dharana Parita in daily life for daily uses.
No,
Dharana Paritrana.
Okay, you can speak a little bit slowly, right?
Sayadaw is asking about the benefits of chanting Dharana Paritana Sutta. So, what are the benefits of chanting it? So, and how can we apply it in our daily life?
Dharana Parita chanting.
Yes.
Chanting is chanting, right? Okay, just for protection, you can do chanting. Right? So practicing is practicing, do different things. Right? Dharana Parita you're going to apply. But this is Buddha's quality. Right? Buddha's Awenika. Only special quality for the Buddha. Even Venerable Sariputta cannot have that kind of quality. So you're going to apply in your daily life. Right? For chanting, okay, you can chant. Okay?
The benefits that we get after the chanting of Dharana Paritana Sayadaw.
Benefit of chanting Parita.
Yeah. Yes.
It depends on how you chant also. Right? So in every chanting Parita, actually, people talk about benefit, right? For example, you may know the meaning. Then when you chant grammatically correct, right? Then you may have loving kindness to our listeners. It will be beneficial, effective. But if you have many other plans or many other intentions or expectations, not that much effective. Right? So it depends on how you chant. What's your mind? That can be different effect. Okay?
Sadhu, 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 sadhu.
No? No more? I have a question in the chat. Okay, share a minute, right? Okay. Edawadaja amehi Sambadam Bunya Sambaram Sabbe Deva Numodandu Sabbe Buddha Numodandu Sabbe Satta Numodandu Sabba Sampati Siriya Idhame Nyadinam Hodu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idhame Nyadinam Hodu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idhame Nyadinam Hodu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idhame Bunyam Asawakaya Waham Hodu Idhame Bunyam Nibbanasa Pachayo Hodu Mama Bunya Bhagam Sabba Sadanam Bhajemi Te Sabbe Me Samam Bunya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.